Tutorials, sharpening your excellence one lesson at a time. Today, we're going to be sharpening your excellence in physics with Kaelihle Malimba, who achieved a level 7 in maths and physics in his matric year.
Hi grade 8s, my name is Kaelihle and welcome to FGL Tutorials, and in this lesson I'll be sharpening your excellence in your approach to algebra. Alright, in this part of the lesson specifically we're going to look at what algebra is and what algebra means. Alright guys, so I want you guys to join me on the whiteboard and let's get started. Alright. So before we do anything, guys, I just want us to just remember functions and relationships. Remember from the last lesson, we figured out that there's going to always be variables. Okay? Right? And in most cases, you have an input and an output variable. Alright, and one way of expressing the relationship was through a symbolic formula. Alright, what I mean by this, grade 8, is let's have a look at a flow diagram. Right, we had a situation like this. Okay, now remember our y would have been our output in this case, and this is our changes. All right, but the changes happen to the input value. The input value in this case, we could have it as x. Okay, so essentially it looks like this. Now grade 8, this is what we call a mathematical equation. Okay, and that's what algebra basically deals with. Okay, so in a mathematical equation, or you can call it a mathematical statement, you will have one or more variables. Okay, and in this case of grade 8, in most cases you will have one variable. Okay, and what you need to do is then find values. Okay, find values that will make the statement true. Okay, let's have a look at an example, guys. Okay, so we have x plus 3 is equal to 11. Okay, so this we call an equation, alright? But in the case of algebra, what we do here is we want to work with this equation to find values of x that would make the statement true. Okay, what I mean by true is I mean that the left hand side would be equal to the right hand side. Okay, so how do we do this? What we need to remember is that x should always be by itself on one side. Okay, to do that we would have to take the 3 to the other side. Now this is positive 3, so if we take it over to the right hand side of the equal sign, then it changes to negative 3. So it would be x is equal to 11 minus 3. Okay, and in this case x would be 8. This means that this statement or mathematical equation Okay, this equation is true only when x is equal to 8. Alright? Let's have another look, guys. Let's have another look at an example of a different type of equation. Okay? We have 3x is equal to negative 6. So what we're basically doing is we're solving this equation, okay? By solving, I mean we need to find a value for x, okay, which will make this equation or statement true. Right? In this case, we call this solving for x. Alright? So how we go and approach this is we only have one term on the left hand side, but we want x equals something, okay? We don't want anything in front of the x, okay? So what we can do is we can divide by 3 on both sides, okay? If we divide by 3, then this cancels out that, and we're left with just x is equal to negative 6 divided by 3, and that gives us a value of negative 2. Okay, so what this means is this statement is true only when x is equal to negative 2. Right? What we can do, guys, is we can even get that value and plug it back in. Okay, so what I mean is we take 3 and we substitute negative 2. What value do we have, guys? I want you to pause and try to figure it out. And we have negative 6. This means the left hand side is indeed equal to the right hand side. Because if we put in a different value that's not negative 2, we could put in 10. That would be then negative 30. Alright. Now, what I want us to do, guys, is aside from being able to solve equations, you should also be able to build an equation, alright? So in this case, I have put up an example here that I want us to go over, okay? The first one is a number is multiplied by 10 is 80, okay? Remember, in this case, you need to establish a variable. Okay, so what we will do here is we'll say let x be the unknown value. Okay, so x will be the unknown value. Okay, now we know that that unknown value, all right, is multiplied by 10, okay, which then gives us 80. So we can set this up, guys. Remember, we need a left hand side and a right hand side. On the left, we know it's 10 times the number is equal to 80. Okay, in this case, to find what the number is, we can easily just divide by 10 on both sides, and we find that the number is 8. All right, let's try the next one. Okay, let me just say that x is 8. We do the same thing here. Add 83 to a number and the answer is 100. Okay, so then again grade 8, the unknown number is x. Alright, so what we then do is we add 83 to that number, so x plus 83, okay, will give us 100. So how then do we go about finding the value? We simply, remember, we want x to be on its own on the left hand side always. Okay, so if we take 83, we take it to the other side, It was positive, so it will be negative in this case. So it will be x is equal to 100 minus 83. Okay, and our value in this case is 17. Grade 8s, I encourage you to take that value, plug it into this equation, and you will see that you're going to get 100 both on the left and the right hand side. Alright, grade 8s, I'm going to end it off here. Alright, in the next part of the lesson, we'll pick up from where we left off. Okay, I hope I sharpened your excellence with your approach to algebra, what algebra is and what it means. Okay, my name is Kylie This is FGL Tutorials, and I'll see you guys in the next one.